Good evening, everybody. It is Dragonbane night at the Adventure Archive. Welcome. Don't forget to like the stream, or if you're watching it now, or if you're watching the VOD, appreciate the support to kick us up on the algorithm. And, well, we're in a bit of a pickle tonight, or all the players are, which we're going to find out very soon. But before I get into that, I got to thank some people. Got to thank Patrick P, first and foremost, for the amazing Dragonbane system on Foundry. Couldn't do without you, man. Appreciate all the hard work. Also, got to thank Andreas for the official Dragonbane soundtrack, as well as Noel, which you're listening to right now, actually, courtesy of Heimat der Katastrophe. Go check them out for your dungeon synth needs. This is the Kiss of the Spider God. Both links are down below in the description. Yeah, and thank you guys for joining us live. We had a hell of a live turnout last time. A lot of support to help us with rules, because we all know that I forget them all the time. And on the fly, help was much appreciated. As well, the comments. Always comment down below too. Let us know what you're thinking. Let us know what you're playing. Let us know what we did wrong. Let us know what you'd like to see more of, because I read and respond to all of them. All right, so last time on Dragonbane. These players, these adventurers, let me unpause the game. These adventurers got a little caught up in a spider battle. So they met this ancient spider by the name of Sayak. Man, the thing cut off again. Anyway, ancient spider. I know the players wrote the name down, and they made a bargain. They didn't attack this spider because it's the size of two horses side by side, lurking in the darkness of this somewhat strangely illuminated chamber. And they found that this spider has the missing child from Outskirt. And they decided to negotiate with it and say, well, hey, we'll go get you this other guy, this other sweet, full of fear man, because you guys learned that fear is the sweetest taste. As well as there's some orcs. There's some orcs in the cavern, and this spider needs them to be dispatched. They're causing a ruckus here, and the spider, I don't know, I guess wants peace or something. You guys agreed to that initially. Oh my God, look at this. We got Andy here. What's up, Andy? It's been a while, man. So rather than deciding to go along with this, you guys met them halfway. You brought the guy who was up in the cobwebs. You decided to sacrifice him. He was a sacrificial lamb to the ancient spider. And then I think it was Gideon who decided, you know what? All monsters must die. I don't like what happened before, because we know that Bramble, I think it was Bramble and Gideon, you guys got in a conversation, right, about, hey, maybe we should not fight this giant, ancient, 1,000-year-old whatever spider. Maybe we should kind of bide our time and figure something out. But upon the second encounter, when you guys came back, Gideon decided, well, no, that's not good enough. And so he had a little plan up his sleeve, which was to use his whip to free the child. And it kind of worked, and it kind of didn't. So you guys got the child down immediately with the help of Bramble's strength, even though he's a little guy. But what happened next was the spider attacked, of course. Gideon was, even though he was being very heroic, which, by the way, earned him an heroic ability. I didn't mention that last stream. He ran in fear because he suffered the fear attack of the spider. So he is just beelining it in a direction. He's way off screen, running like hell, screaming madly, whatever he's doing. And Bramble, I gave them all awareness rolls, but everybody failed to see there is a rope-thick web attached to his ankle that this spider must have got onto him while the melee was going on. And in that last moment, while the spider retrieved the child again, crawling back into the darkness, very, very angry because it can't get through this little path, this very narrow corridor. There goes Bramble. And then the darkness being sucked back. And Cerriel and Donovan are standing here looking left, hearing the echoing screams of Gideon on one side, and I don't know, Bramble's maybe scream. I don't know what is Bramble doing right now? Is he screaming as he's being yanked into the darkness?
Yeah. Bramble would have screamed as he is pulled into the darkness.
Okay, so you guys are hearing echoing screams on both sides of you in this terribly dark, terribly ancient cave. Donovan, Cerriel, we'll start with you. And I think we're still in a combat round. Actually, no, we're not. So what I'll do is, oh, hey, what's up? Rodinov Claw. You're mostly here for Forest Fox. Well, she's here. And Game Delve, what's up, man? What would you guys like to do? I guess what we'll do is we'll start at the top, unless Cerriel, you don't want to go first. I know you hate going first. Would you like me to start with Donovan? And we'll kind of go the other way around the virtual table?
Yeah.
Okay, Donovan, you're up first. We're out of initiative. We're out of combat, but I'm going to keep like an initiative order because you guys are separated right now, just to give everybody ample time to have turns. So, what would you like to do as you're standing there with your fire, your flaming, blazing torch of magic, or staff of magic?
Donovan he's very panicked about the fact that one of his best friend's sons has just flown past him covered in web. And I think Donovan would rush back into that room with the intent of trying to reason with the spider once more.
Okay. So you're going to... So remember, the spider at least informed you, whether it was a truth or a lie, you're not sure, that it couldn't make its way through these narrow corridors in this cave. So you're going to move out deeper into the chamber following the spider? Okay. A slow...
Yep, I think so. So he'll turn to Cerriel and he'll be like, you should go after Gideon and fetch him before he gets lost. And then he would try to go negotiate for Bramble's life.
I like this it's just like a double split. This is splitting the party once and splitting it again. I'm digging it. Actually, you guys are kind of coming back together. Yeah, you're rejoining, you're splitting again, but potentially reuniting. Okay, so I will let you move your entire movement. What do you want Donovan to do right now as this spider is just scuttling off, kicking up mud as it's scurrying back into the darkness, back into its lair? And I'm going to say it's probably more like around here because it kind of rushed back. So you see it diminishing in the light.
Master Spider! He yells out.
Okay. You get no response. This thing is just continually moving back.
Can I see it moving back with him?
Yeah. So what you do is you see the child sort of nestled behind the thorax of this great beast, and you see Bramble like tumbling through the mud, like a really bad Indiana Jones maneuver, attached to this rope-thick web. Oh, you know what? Shit! Before we forget, Bramble, he made it to 0 hit points again, so we got to roll on the to make matters worse. We have to roll to see if he suffers a critical injury. So why don't you roll against Will, Bramble? Or is it Will?
I think it's Con.
Con, you're right. Sorry. It's Con. And let us see if you succeed or fail.
Okay.
And correct. And just so you know, stream or viewers in the future, he has already a broken beak. So he suffered. This is Bramble's second time hitting 0 hit points in 2 sessions. Well, this is the third one, but okay. You succeeded. Okay. Lucky you. No critical, no severe injury. Sorry. All right, so back to Donovan. You shout this out. That's a free action. Do you want to continually follow the spider as it's scurrying back into its lair?
Yeah.
Okay. So what is your movement? Let's see. It's only about 4. So you're
Two
pretty
squares.
slow. Yeah, so I'll just say you can... You're just rushing, so you can double that. You can move 4 squares if you like, kind of like a dash. So you're hurrying through the mud, which brings us to... So that'll be the end of your turn. I'm going to move back up to Cerriel. So Cerriel, you're kind of left in the darkness here. You hear the echoes of Gideon to the east. And you also hear the shout of Donovan to the west as he runs into the spider's lair. What would you like to do?
Wait, so had I been asked to go deal with Bramble or go deal with
Gideon.
Gideon?
Well,
Okay,
because
that's-
Donovan followed
yeah, he's
Bramble.
gonna try to get Bramble. Oh man. All right, I'll try to dash to Gideon.
Okay, so what is Cerriel's movement? Let's see how far you can make it here. So it's 14, so you could move, I guess 14 squares. So you could move all the way to like, so you're running, you can make it about like right here.
I'm gonna light a torch since
Okay.
it's dark for me now.
Yeah, if you right click on your icon, you can click on the torch icon. Here, I'll do it for you. Okay, so yeah, you light a torch. The damp air hisses against the flame, and you start rushing eastward down to about right here, and you catch a glimpse of Gideon, which brings us to Gideon. He is just this little frogman running like crazy, and he's coming to this chamber of web where you found the sacrificial lamb. So Gideon, what would you like to do?
I think I still have to roll to stop running.
Correct. That's right. And you are Bane, so stream and viewers out there, just know, and podcast listeners, Gideon has every single condition you can have in this game, which means if he suffers another condition, it is willpower points that he's going to lose. So, and which he doesn't have much of either, which then goes to hit
What?
points.
Was I rolling? Will?
Yes.
Okay.
So you are trying to recover from the fear of seeing this giant spider, like flashed its many eyes and bared its fangs. Okay, another
Ooh.
failure, meaning you are going to have to run. I guess the only direction you can is south.
Oh God. Okay.
Because there's no other way. You run into this chamber full of these cobwebs and these other carcasses wrapped, and still you feel that spider's just presence right at the back of your neck. You almost imagine these fangs ready to bury themselves into your body, and so yeah, you bolt south. And how far does Gideon bolt?
Before I bolt,
Yes.
could I potentially leverage my weakness to push the roll?
I mean, technically, that's. What do you mean? How would you do that? You mean you're trying to like
So
tweak or bend the rules a little bit to utilize something you have?
a little bit.
Okay. So your weakness is what? It's the monster hunter?
Yeah, all monsters must die.
Okay, and that costs does that cost any? No, that's just your weakness. I'll say I'll let you have it, but you're gonna suffer D6 willpower points at first, and then HP after that. So whatever the remainder is. So that is that's the wager. If you'd like to move forward.
Okay. I'll try. It's worth it.
Okay. So why don't you? Yeah, we'll see if you want to roll. Do you want to see? I'll even give you this. I'll roll the D6, so you'll at least know what you're dealing with. Do you want to do that first?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that. Let's see what the penalty is going to be here. Okay, it's only one.
Let's go.
It's only one. Okay, so and I'll tell you what. I'll even do this. So Cerriel, even though you made your way, you're running as fast as you can through this cavern. I'll give you speech as a free action. If there is some way you think you can aid in Gideon's will roll, which would take him from a Bane to a flat roll. There's something you can say, something you can do. I'll give you that. It's got to be in free action territory, so it can't be like, I shoot down part of the cavern and he can't go south because boulders fell down. So nothing like that. So pretty much some kind of speech.
I'm going to say, "Hell, Gideon, I'm being attacked by a monster. It's the craziest monster I've ever seen. It's so monstrous."
Okay. Sounds convincing. What do you think, chat? What do you think, chat? Was that a convincing boon for Gideon? Let us know as soon as you can if you're watching.
Monsters.
He does hate monsters, so I say that's clever. Maybe the okay. So Game Delve says yes.
That's just how she talks. Okay.
Okay, that's fine. Totally. All right. So Gideon. Lucky you, you're gonna lose one willpower. Nutsy says, was all right. All right, Gideon. So you get another chance. This is gonna be a raw roll. You get your Bane removed from Cerriel's amazing sales pitch.
Hey, I can roll bluffing if you want.
Oh, look at that! Let's go! Oh, wow! And so, holy crap, because just so you guys know, watching, listening, whatever you're doing right now, Gideon's will is only a 7. So, difficult roll. So this is amazing. He rolled a 3. Success. So yeah, you hear this like angelic voice talking about ancient myths and monsters and fabricating the most just blasphemous, insane, I don't know, the craziest thing you can imagine. And you vividly picture it in your mind, and somewhere deep inside of your heart, it flares to life like a magical flame, and the darkness of the fear of seeing the spider has been vanquished. So you skid to a stop, mud flying on the walls, dangling in the cobwebs before you. And now it is Bramble's turn. So Bramble, you were just tumbling through the mud. Your hands, I guess, are open, flailing. You don't have did you have a weapon drawn? I don't remember.
I was holding the whip with one hand.
Okay.
And I was not. I was trying to present myself to the spider as if I was,
Oh, I think wasn't it you dropped your weapon, right? Like when you got zeroed out.
I dropped the whip.
Yeah.
I was holding the whip.
When
I was
that's
pulling
right.
the child. So I would say my weapon is stowed. Like I just have it in my pack, which is on my back. And
okay.
So
you're being dragged by your ankle, tumbling around. I'll definitely give you an action. You're not being attacked whatsoever. Is there anything you'd like to attempt?
Well, I can tell that the web that is attached to my foot is what's pulling me.
Yeah.
So I'm struggling against it. But could I pull my
Yeah.
my warhammer and try to strike at the web and try to
Yeah.
break it? Maybe.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, that's what I'll do then.
Okay, so I'll say, why don't we do a, because again, you're being thrashed around in the mud and the darkness. Let's do a, I don't know, what are you thinking? Acrobatics, raw agility, sleight of hand. I would do any of those, whatever you would like. Something that makes you, or you can
maybe.
You can argue too. You can say like, actually, my strength is what is making me be able to have like a steady hand or something. So if you can justify it, like we can figure it out.
Yeah, I think maybe I'm just like trying to maybe slow the pull of myself.
Okay.
As I'm being dragged, and so using my strength to reach behind me as that's happening.
Okay.
To reach my hammer and pull it out.
So give me a strength roll.
Okay.
Easy success because Bramble has a 17 strength.
Yeah, I'll try to argue for that every single time.
Yeah. No, I like it. I mean, it does kind of make sense. It's like it's because you're so strong, you're fighting against the the tension of being thrown around. So okay, yeah, you successfully grab your warhammer, you tear it from its sheath or whatever it's on, your loop or something like that. And what would you like to do?
Yeah, as I'm kind of being dragged and I flip around, I'll try to flip around on my back and try to bring it down as I kind of bend my knee and pull myself closer to the web and try to just break it as I smash the web into it.
Okay, so this is a very thick, ancient web, rope thick, like I said. So in Dragonbane, things have hit points. So the way this is going to work is as Bramble is struggling, he's swinging down his warhammer, trying to hit this thing, which I'm going to need an attack roll from you, but I'm going to make it Bane because, again, you're not in an ideal situation. So why don't you give me a hammer's attack roll with a Bane, and we'll see if you're able to contact this thing. Oh man, look at that. A 6 and an 8. That's a hell of a Bane roll. Okay, so yeah, you make contact with your warhammer, bringing it down on this web. Roll me some damage, and let's see what you get. Oh my god, just enough. So yeah, just so you guys know, I gave it 10 hit points. So he rolled 11, beating it by 1 hit point. So yeah, you slam with all your strength and all your might down on this web, and it just snaps. And you are just left in the mud as this spider doesn't quite comprehend what happened. It is just scurrying back into the darkness. And so I will put you, I guess, like right around here. I'll say that you were, separated from the spider. So yeah, success. Okay. All right. That's your turn. Donovan, you see this go down. You see Bramble, like, he collects himself masterfully, gets his warhammer, breaks the web, falls face first in the mud. What would you like to do?
Donovan will move up one. Or do diagonal spaces still just count as one?
If you hit control and drag, you'll see a distance indicator. So that'll tell you exactly how far you can move.
Okay. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Sorry, everybody. I'm still learning all this.
Still learning Foundry, no worries.
Yeah. So I'm going to move my 4 meters because I'm going to use both like my whole action to move, but my free action is, as he's running, he's got his staff in the air with the light.
Okay.
What am I doing wrong?
Oh, that just measures it. So
okay.
Yeah, you can.
I thought it was going to be extra cool and move me when I was done too. But he's got his staff and he's running through, and he's like, you promised you would not harm any of us, and he believed it because he's gullible. That's his weakness. I don't know if
that's good. I like it.
Yet, but part of why Donovan seems to be playing like lawful stupid. It isn't because he is. He's gullible. Everything the spider told him, he believed. And honestly, the spider was sticking to it. But he's extremely worried about Bramble. And he's looking around at all this webbing.
Mm-hmm.
And he's getting an idea of maybe collecting some to try to craft bandages, because he doesn't have any bandages and he needs those to doctor people up, which is what he's good at doing.
Okay, so you shout these words, you rush further into the lair of the spider, which brings us back to Cerriel, who is midway through this corridor, seeing Gideon slam to a halt after her angelic words, speaking of the most legendary monster that is about to attack her. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna keep running to him.
Okay.
And like check on him. Gideon, are you okay?
Monster!
Yes. It's this way.
Back into the spider's lair. I love it. We're coming full circle, everybody.
I'm gonna grab him on the shoulder and try to guide him this way. Will he come with me?
Yeah, you
Gideon?
guys. Yeah, I mean, you're sort of. I'll say that you guys you're simultaneously doing stuff. So yeah, whatever you want to do, Gideon.
Yeah, he's gonna be sprint full steam ahead.
Okay. So
in the opposite direction.
So Cerriel's pretty much used her full movement. Talk to you, meaning if you sprint, you're going to go beyond her. Is that the plan? Just to dash back down that passageway?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no. Okay.
All right.
I'm gonna have to explain something before she goes in there and tries to kill the spider while we're trying to reason with it.
See, you dispelled the fear with your immaculate tale. That was all right, according to Nutsi. But
My
now
biggest critic.
you've implanted this legendary image of the most epic monster that Gideon will ever slay. So he's even more encouraged to, or inspired to continue going. All right, so Gideon, you're gonna move while Cerriel's kind of screaming to
run
stop.
after him as well.
Okay. So Gideon, your movement's 14, so you can move, all the way to like here, I guess.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So-
Also 14.
But you already
Awesome.
went, remember? So you ran in here with your entire
Yeah,
turn, talk to him, tell Gideon, hey, there's a monster, and he's like, and then just like dashes right back, past you.
Yeah, his scared like monster is gonna turn into monster as he sprints down the hallway.
All right. Okay, so that brings us to Bramble. You're lying there in the mud. You hear the shout of your friend and companion Donovan. What would you like to do?
Yeah, so Bramble is going to like scramble to his feet and maybe trip
Okay.
along a little bit along the way as he's like trying to run away from where the spider was dragging him, and maybe hoping that maybe not even looking behind him, just trying to get out of there so that he doesn't get pounced on from behind.
Okay, so you're gonna like just run your full distance, try to get the hell out of there, basically. So
Yeah, in
toward
the
Donovan?
direction of Donovan. Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. So you have a movement of 12. So you can move
Yeah.
12 squares if you'd like, and that would be your action.
All right, we'll go.
Which would, or you could
we'll
move, there and then still have an action if you want to do something else. If you want to move like right here by Donovan, you still have another bit of movement, meaning you can do an action if you'd like.
Let's see.
And by the way, as you
Just checking
see,
to see if there's
oh yeah,
anything
no
I can
worries.
think of right here.
So Donovan, as you see Bramble rushing toward you, you mentioned earlier how you were kind of paying attention to these cobwebs. in use for bandages because, you know, healing is of high importance right now. You do notice that he still has a tether of web around his ankle. However, it's tethered.
Okay.
So you deduce that, you know, potentially these could be used as bandages as well, even though they're covered in mud and stuff like that.
No, I don't know if there's anything that he would think to do at this point, aside from if Donovan is looking in the direction of the spider, I will, Bramble run up and he'll say, he took the child back. He has him. And will like turn to face him, holding his hammer, and then kind of like maybe looking behind him into the cavern for Gideon and Cerriel.
Okay.
See if they are there.
Okay. All right. So that brings us to you, Donovan. What would you like to do?
You know, he kind of embraces Bramble by the shoulders, gives him a look over, make sure he's not half dead. He's already almost lost the boy once.
I thought you might pick him up like under his armpits, like a kid off the ground, and spin around.
No, he's
or
too
something.
heavy for that. We established he was heavy because he's all muscle. And he looks in the direction of the spider, and he says, "Remember your promise. Leave the child unharmed. We're going to go get your orcs." And he turns to Bramble and he says, "Are you all right, lad?"
Bramble will look up at him and say, yes, but we tried to take the child from him, so you can't really blame him for doing that."
Yes, it was the right thing to try. But we now know our limits. And he kind of ushers Bramble, and I'm going to move my 2 meters, my 4 meters this
That's
way.
right. You're so slow. So yeah, as your old bones are trudging through the mud back into the corridor, and after you shout this over your shoulder, you hear a response of liars.
No, we were just kidding. It was a joke.
Just fucking around.
Yeah, don't hold that against us. We had to try, you know.
Okay, so Donovan, you start to trudge your way back as far as you can, which brings us to Cerriel. And what would you like to do? And we'll just see. I guess once everybody is back together, we can kind of stop the turn-by-turn stuff. But I'm just curious, like logistically, how this is going to work out. We have Gideon freaking beelining again toward the spider lair. I don't know what's going to happen. So, Cerriel, what would you like to do? As
I'm gonna yell at him again. Wait, Gideon, because I don't think I can catch him because we're the same distance.
there's a bigger monster over here.
Yes.
If you'd like, I'll give you a persuasion roll. Unless you have a really epic story, to perhaps can. Okay, so yeah, we can give you a persuasion roll, and it's going to be.
Can I do a bluffing roll?
Yeah, you can do bluffing or persuasion, and then I'm gonna need. It's going to be a contested roll, or an opposed roll. Sorry, meaning that Gideon's also going to need to roll.
Okay.
Would I be rolling bluff?
Yeah,
Or-
so
Okay.
it's been a while. I think it's the same exact ability, opposed rolls, if I remember correctly. Opposed rolls. While you're doing that, Cerriel, I will read really quick. Let's see. If you roll succeeds, let's see. Only when someone is actively opposing you in combat only counts if you roll succeeds. Adversarial. Yeah, let's see. I guess it doesn't say. I'm assuming it's the same thing, but I don't see it unless I have a rules lawyer in the chat who can help me out. But I don't see it. I just see that this means that both you and your adversary roll dice. Opposed rolls are used sparingly in the game. Only when someone actively is opposing you in combat, it only counts as an action for an active party. Or, you know what I could do is quick roll against while he's not looking. Or I could make it simple if you want. I could just give you a bane on the roll, so it's harder to achieve. Because Gideon is, unless you're telling me Gideon would actively oppose this thing, in which case you can have a roll too.
Well, I'm thinking since he played off of his weakness to stop, he's kind of blinded by, like, all monsters need to die.
Okay.
As sucky as that is.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, though. That's your character. Man, I can't find it. Let's see. Rolling strength against strength to decide outcomes of an arm wrestling match is called an open opposed roll. Opponent rolls or re-roll to both sides. Okay. So yeah, I mean, you could use a raw. Let's see. What is persuasion? Is that charisma? Oh man, your charisma is terrible.
Yep.
That's good.
All right. So then,
Terrible.
I guess Cerriel, why don't you roll me a bluffing or whatever you want?
I already did. I'm gonna be
Oh, you
honest
did?
about it. I did.
Oh, I
could've-
see. And
I
you
could have been
failed.
dishonest.
Well, so it's a yeah, it doesn't matter unless. Well, I guess Gideon, why don't you just roll? So I'll say yeah, yours is far. Even though you guys both failed, like, I mean, she failed, so it doesn't work anyway. So yeah, you're gonna continue on.
All right, I'm gonna yell, clothes hanger him or clothesline him. And see if this works.
Clothes hanger. Put them in a closet.
English is my second language.
Okay, so Gideon, yeah, you keep bolting down the corridor. Brings us back to Donovan. You are making your way closer and closer and closer to this cave. You're going to keep moving forward, Sir Donovan,
Yeah.
the dwarf. Or no, sorry, Bramble. I skipped Bramble. Shit, sorry.
Yeah, okay, so Bramble will run in the direction that Donovan is going.
So Cerriel screams. You hear this. I'll say that, you know what? Why don't you give me an awareness check, because she's kind of far away. It's kind of echoey. You might not be able to make it out. So let's see if you perceive what she's saying with an awareness roll. Oh, man, you're Bane too. Oh, yep. So you hear screaming, but you can't quite make out the words. You can definitely recognize it's Cerriel, though.
Okay. Important thing is that I know that she's down in the that path
you can
again.
definitely tell the direction where she is, of course. Yeah.
So he will so he's going to blow by Donovan, and
oh yeah, don't mind me.
but as he's going, he's like looking behind him, make sure that spider doesn't leap up from behind and take him again. And it's kind of like watching his legs as well to make sure that there's no still attachment, but he still has the web, the little bit of it left still trailing from his heel. And he will get there, and he'll be like, come on, quickly.
Okay. Yeah, you
trying to encourage Donovan to get to safety.
Gotcha. So you make it to the mouth of this branching cave, and you see just at the edge of the torchlight, you see glimmering green skin, and you recognize Gideon, wide-eyed, running toward you. Presumably your whip is at the ready, Gideon. I don't know. You didn't say anything. With just a ravenous look in his eyes.
My whip is still wrapped around a spider leg.
Oh, shit. You're right. That's right.
Unless
He dropped the whip.
Bramble.
Yeah, I let go of the handle, and then if the spider picked
If it
up
was
the
on the
child,
kid. Oh, no.
So, yeah.
That is right.
Like,
So
I'm just
you are
saying,
aware
Gideon
of
can't
this,
leave
Gideon.
without his whip.
Wow. Okay. All right. So yeah, that's the situation then. Okay. All right. So then we will move on to Donovan. You guys are everybody's about to collide. You know, it's funny, as I've never had a situation, I think in any game, where movement has been so crucial, and then in this moment, because we have Gideon, who has the highest movement of anybody, running into danger, running away in fear, and then we have Donovan with slug-like agility, just slowly making his way. It's crazy. So anyway, sorry, Donovan, go for it.
Gonna move my 4 meters right there.
Okay, so you make it side by side. Somehow it's the tortoise and the hare action going on right here, which brings us back to Cerriel. So you are pretty close to Gideon. If you'd like to do anything, say anything, as he's just basically running on air. He's running so fast, barely touching the ground. He's the messiah of the frog
I love
kin.
you. Take out my short bow. Shoot him
Oh,
away.
I killed Gideon to stop him. I mean, you know, that's not out of the realm of possibility.
I know.
You could attempt to trip him
up.
up. You could attempt to like dislodge a rock in the ceiling. You know, you can always think creatively outside of the box in terms of if you think of it, just tell me your idea and then we can figure out a role. So never feel like you're confined to what you can do on your character sheet. Always just kind of stay in the fiction of it.
I was thinking about like throwing my sleeping fur over him, but I don't think I'm close enough.
Yeah, well, you could run and then try to do something like that. You can try to tackle him, right? You can do all that stuff.
Well, I can't. Can I close the gap?
So you haven't moved yet,
Because
right?
he had a head start.
Did you move after he already moved?
I don't remember.
Your movement is...
I mean, I shouldn't have if I did.
Your movement's also 14, so yours is as good as Gideon's.
That's what I'm saying, but when this whole thing first happened, I moved half my movement to get to him.
I don't remember, so let's
then-
just say this is where you guys are. No big deal.
I'll try to tackle him then.
Okay, so you run forward, try to tackle him. Gideon, you're not paying any attention, I guess, right? You're just kind of running like mad. So how are you attempting to tackle him? Are you just diving forward like with an acrobatics roll, perhaps?
Let's see. Let's see if that's what I'm doing. Yeah.
To me, that's the most logical
that's exactly
thing
what
I
I would
would
do.
say. Yeah.
Yes.
Plus, you're very quick. Yeah, you're not trying to. It's not like you're grappling him and then pulling him to the ground with strength. You're just kind of leaping at him, I guess.
I don't have a good grand plan. I'm just trying to stop him. So I'm doing what feels most natural, which is just like tackling him, jumping.
So you're gonna tackle him, go for his legs. What are you doing? Or just his whole little frog body? Because I think he's probably pretty small.
I'm much taller than him, so I'm just gonna like over the top.
All right, give me an acrobatics roll as you leap forward. Hopefully not nosediving and eating mud. Okay, you succeed. So, yeah, you wrap around Gideon. And tell me this, Gideon, because I'll allow it if you think this would be the case. Is Gideon aware? Would he be aware of this? Like, I would give you sort of a baned evade if you'd like. Otherwise, if you're saying like Gideon's like just tunnel vision forward and he's not going to notice, it's up to you.
He's completely blinded by monster and knowing that, you know, he still has 2 companions that are supposedly near this fantastic monster. So
so you feel just being taken to the ground, falling into the mud. your life flashes before your eyes, and you're back to a little tadpole because you're in this wet little darkness on the ground briefly, and then you kind of figure out what's going on, and you notice it's some black hair is spilling over into your face, and I guess you hear Cerriel's voice in your ear saying something. Oh, you're
Just
Yeah,
stop.
and from down the cavern, you're just gonna hear like monster, and then just like a single like croak, and then just quiet.
okay. All right, yeah, I guess you get the croak knocked out of you. Which brings us to so you're down there struggling in the grips of Cerriel, which brings us to Bramble. So yeah, you see this go on. You see Cerriel tackle him to the ground. Mud splashes up on the walls of the cavern. What would you like to do?
So I think that Bramble will run his full movement
Okay.
to try and, it looks like, to kind of head off Gideon as Cerriel trips him up.
Okay.
But he will kind of like hold his hand out in front of him and has his hammer still in his other hand. And he
Okay.
will say, "Gideon, it's just the spider, the one we were just talking to. Don't make me close hanger you." And will like stand like in the way, ready for if Gideon gets to him.
Oh man, clothes hanger. That's got to be a thing. That's got to be a thing now. Okay, awesome. So you do all of that, which brings us to old man Donovan making his way with blazing light. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna move my 2 squares.
Okay, so you just keep moving forward. And at this point, I'm going to say you guys can act however you'd like to. You're close enough to just act out of turn order. So...
Well, that went surprisingly well. And he's gonna scooch on up very slowly.
Okay.
I mean, that's what happens when you take a risk. Sometimes it doesn't work out. At least we're all still alive, right? Bright side of things.
Absolutely. That's why, this worked out perfectly well.
I think we'll say that as Bramble kind of slows down the run and is walking over to where Gideon and Cerriel are at.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you guys are all in this very cramped. It's about, it's 2 meters wide, very jagged cavern with Donovan's light blazing still.
Mm-hmm. Donovan's going to kneel down to Gideon.
Okay.
And he's going to be like, Gideon, good Gideon. Your bravery is exceptional. But the child's life is at too much risk. We must avoid the spider for now. Let us go and deal with these orcs and complete its bargain.
Gideon's
go ahead.
gonna kind of look up at you. You're just gonna see these 2 eyes kind of poke out of the mud, and you're gonna hear a small croak and a little bubble, just like a fine.
Oh.
I think that Bramble will lean down so that he doesn't have to crouch to get even with Donovan's face, and he will say, "Also, I must tell you that the spider stole your whip. Sorry about that. He took it."
His head just goes full into the mud.
Oh man,
Splat.
defeated.
You hear light screaming.
Poor Gideon.
Yeah, he's been through a lot.
better days.
Everybody's been through a lot. I mean, Bramble's been unconscious twice.
Twice.
Yep.
Cracked beak or bill. I mean, man. Crazy. All right, so you guys are here hanging out in this cavern. spider layer to your back, and then where the path forward, where you've already been in the other chamber. What is the plan?
I'm gonna stand up and, still holding Gideon, start to walk this way because I'm angry, I'm exhausted, I'm scared, I'm disheartened, I'm muddy,
Oh
and
man.
I don't trust Gideon. So I'm just carrying him up till we get in this room.
Yeah, you guys are in bad shape. That is true. Okay, so
I would also head to that safe area.
yeah, and you guys can all just get there. We're not in any kind of movement. Doesn't really matter right now. So yeah, you guys make it all the way down there. You return to this familiar cave where the other very large spiders, not quite as big as the one you just faced, their carcasses are just rotting in the mud, as well as some of the other the cobweb wrapped carcasses that fell from the ceiling when you pulled the first guy down. And then there's the passage leading south, to which you can hear sort of the rushing of water in the distance.
So Bramble sits down, like once they reach this spot, and he says, "Well, if we're going to go and confront these orcs, then do we know in which direction they are at? And is there anything we should do to prepare? I am kind of hurt, and my beak is sore."
I was just thinking about that, and I've been looking at these webs. Perhaps I can use these to bandage some of us up.
So you're going to try to...
has anyone eaten spider meat before?
No, but I'm willing to try now.
So yeah, Donovan wants to he wants to see if we can maybe do like a bushcraft or something.
Okay.
If I can craft bandages.
Okay. So that is a... Yeah, I guess that'd be a bushcraft. Nature crafting.
You could do either bushcraft or nature or healing, craft and healing.
I mean, there is just a crafting as well. Let's consult the rule book briefly. Bandages. Unless we got Nub 5 is not here. Additional healing rolls have effect. Yeah, I mean, I'll just say it's fine. You can do a bushcraft if you'd like.
Okay.
I would say healing is not to make the bandage. It'd be more to
apply it.
Apply it, yeah.
All right. Bushcraft. Succeeded.
All right. So yeah, you make some rudimentary bandages, you think. And did you do it? Did you do it from the ones that you found on Bramble's leg, or just the ones that are around here?
The ones that are around here. I picked the cleanest, purest looking ones I could find.
Gotcha. Okay, what about so as you're doing this, does anybody else want to do anything, or are you kind of just hanging around trying to help Donovan find some materials for bandages?
I think with the amount of cobwebs and seeing how effective it was essentially like a rope, could I potentially form a whip out of a spider leg and webbing?
Ooh, potentially. So let's see. Well, you know who else is a craftsman among you?
Bramble.
Maybe you could collaborate with Bramble, perhaps, on this. Unless Bramble, you think this is out of your realm of, out of your wheelhouse, let's say.
No, I think Bramble might look at this and say, well, let me see if I might be able to help you.
Hearing that, Gideon's gonna get excited and start yanking one of the legs of the spider until it rips off.
So crafting's gonna take probably an entire shift to do something like this. And then for tools, do you have any tools, Bramble, that can aid you in crafting something like this? Do you have like a needle and thread? Do you have, let's see, what else is there? Just blacksmithing tools, carpentry tools, tanning tools? You have stuff?
I have blacksmithing tools.
Okay. I'll say that might aid you to some degree, so you have something.
Okay.
Technically, blacksmithing tools would probably more for, metalworking and all that, but we can just pretend. Maybe I'll give you like a bane on it or something.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay, so you guys, now an entire shift, that's a long time. 4 hours, right? Yeah. So, or 6 hours. Is it 6 hours, 4 hours?
6 hours, I think.
6 hours, that's right. So it's going to take some time to do this. So, Donovan, you're crafting some bandages.
How many do I make, by the way?
Ooh, how much time do you want to spend? So if you want to spend like a stretch, which is like 15 minutes, I'll say like maybe like one every stretch.
Okay, I'll do that because I haven't done a stretch rest yet.
Okay,
but we kind of need people need a shift rest.
Yeah, you guys are all pretty rough, so if you guys want to take care of that before all of the crafting and stuff, it's up to you. I mean, you guys can just kind of keep moving forward if you want to as well.
Yeah, we should all pick a little egg sack up here to sleep in.
Yeah. I mean, if you guys are crafting, Cerriel's gonna do a shift rest while you do that if possible. But if you guys all want to do a shift rest, okay.
Yeah, if we're able to, maybe we can push some of the debris on the floor up against the open doorways to kind of maybe block somebody from just coming unimpeded down the hallway.
Yeah, I mean,
more spiders or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these bodies are, on the floor. They got dislodged when you pulled everything down. So yeah, you can move them around like, I guess, little sandbags or something in a way. I mean, they're not gonna like block an entire passageway, but they might trip somebody up.
Okay, and then Bramble would maybe try to take a rest before we start rolling crafting rolls.
Are you doing the full long rest now? Is that the shift?
Yeah, I think
so. Because we know that the big spider can't come down this hallway. It's too small. It's too small for him. At least that's what he said. And I think this is probably as safe a spot as we're going to be in.
Okay. Are you guys taking a watch or anything, or what exactly is happening?
Yeah, we'll take turns doing watches.
Okay. So who's going first?
I'll go
Bramble
first.
Bramble. Oh, okay. Yeah, Bramble to go ahead and take the first watch.
Okay.
So he's during the watch, he's like checking the two passageways and pulling the rest of the spider rope off of his heel and kind of cleaning that up. And he'll put that over with Donovan's pile of material that he's making bandages with.
Okay. All right. You spend your entire watch doing that, and With the exception of some drafts whistling through the caves, nothing happens.
Okay. So I guess he will, at the end of his watch, he'll go over and he'll nudge Donovan and say, "All right, all is safe and quiet. I did not hear anything. It is your turn."
Oh, good lad. All right, get some sleep. I'll be vigilant.
Okay.
Donovan will kind of take where he's at and take a seat, and he pulls out this little trinket of a necklace out of his shirt. It was tucked in his shirt, and he twists it off of the necklace, and it's a little piece of pottery, maybe about this big, and he puts it down on the ground, and he kind of looks both ways, both directions, just looking, see if there's any noises coming from where he's watching. And then he will pour out remember that little tea cup set that I was talking about last session? He pulls that out.
Okay.
And he has a little tea left over from an earlier time, and he pours 2 small cups of tea, one for him and one for the pot.
It's a little tea party. Okay. All right, yeah, you meticulously do these actions. But you feel something, Donovan. At the back of your mind. Your staff, your magical light is kind of fizzling a little bit.
Oh yeah.
And in the fizzling light, it's almost as if the flame itself is changing shape. And you could distinctly see a claw made of flame.
Ooh.
And it starts reaching toward you and then snaps back, and then you kind of rub your eyes, and it's back to a dancing flame or a diminishing flame, because I believe it lasts a shift, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
I don't know how to turn it off on.
Oh, I can do it. I mean, it's still technically on. It's just kind of sputtering. Yeah, I put light, I think, on your token, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
Well, that's creepy.
Yeah. So it's much dimmer right now. And then, I guess if you're doing the entire shift. So yeah, other than that, that's the only thing that happens on your watch, Donovan.
All right. He'll go and wake Gideon up.
Okay.
All right, lad. It's your turn. Nothing eventful happened.
No monsters?
No monsters, but there's a little bit of tea over there. Help yourself.
Thank you.
And Donovan will tuck himself into the web.
You're tucking yourself into the web. Okay. Yeah, as you're tucking yourself into the web, Donovan, too, you get this strange sensation of being embraced by something that has it's kind of scaly. You kind of turn around and shake it off a little bit. There's nothing there.
What the hell?
Yeah, it's almost like these rigid arms were embracing you, but not coming around the front. You just had the sensation of your kind of being just hugged, and then they diminish.
I knew we shouldn't have ate that spider, man.
And just as you drift off to sleep, you hear, "Wizard."
Right. Well,
Creepy spooners, indeed. I see you.
Like this is in my head.
Yeah, and the second when he said "I see you," it's like it's further away. So the first thing when he said "wizard" was louder, and then the second time was almost as if this voice, this disembodied voice, was kind of like across the room, kind of reverberating. And then you hear one more thing. I see your wife.
Ooh, Donovan would wake up in a panic, sweat. If he shoots up awake, what does he see?
You see Gideon enjoying a cup of tea and the rest of your party slumbering.
So yeah, he's heavily breathing. He's grasping the necklace. He does not know what to make of what just happened. And he says, Gideon, did you just hear anything?
Oh, was I supposed to?
No. No,
Okay, good.
I thought I'd heard something and it's nothing. Go back. No, I'm going back to sleep. And then he'll, lay back down. Freaked the hell out.
Okay. All right. So you go back to fitful dreams of deep, dark voices and flames in the shape of
Claws.
strange claws. Yeah.
And scaly arms.
I like a Rod Knobs comment. I see your wife. She's coming for half your gold. Alimony. All right. So who's up next? I guess that would be Cerriel finally, right? So Gideon, yeah, opposed to your aside from Donovan's little disturbance, nothing happens.
Okay. Before his watch ends, Gideon's going to be looking over his notes that he took.
Okay.
About our spider friend.
Okay.
Could he possibly deduce some sort of weakness or possibly more information from these notes? Kind of sort of a reflection maybe after.
Yeah, I'll say, let's see. Why don't you give me a roll? I'll give you a roll. Why don't you give me a monster lore roll, and we'll see if you deduce anything. Okay, you succeed with a 9 on beast lore. So yeah, amid the chaos and the confusion, you were laser focused at one point when you were face to face with this beast, right before your mind devolved into pure fear. You noticed that the eyes up close were kind of clouded. Not all of them, maybe half of them, because again, the spider is very, very old. Even though it appears to be a very strong individual, it's massive, it looks like it has strength, there is a bit of a weakness to it. And pondering that more, you remember it telling you it was, 1,000 years old. So a very, very ancient thing. And that comment from the spider used really to boast, right? It kind of something clicks in your mind. And you realize that that could be used against it somehow. That perhaps its senses aren't what they used to be.
In noticing the cloudiness in its eyes, was it on a particular side?
They were kind of sporadic. I guess almost like kind of working from the outside in. Like the largest eyes were like maybe the least cloudy, and the smaller ones were kind of more crusty and foggy looking with age.
So if he were to think of that as like a strategic thing, he would possibly think that maybe the spider's peripheral isn't as good.
Yeah, you probably think that this thing isn't quite as aware as it might have been in its youth, let's say.
Okay. Ooh.
So do with that what you will, or as you will.
So at the end of his watch, you're just gonna hear Gideon go, "Of course!" really loud, and it just reverberates the entire.
Okay.
And that wakes Cerriel up.
Yeah, that wakes Cerriel up. Cerriel.
Oh. Gideon, what did you say?
Oh, I'll tell you in the morning. I need to sleep on this a little bit, but I may have a plan. Well, a better plan.
Yes.
An even better
Hopefully
plan.
it's even better. Okay, hopefully it's better. Go get some sleep.
Yeah, Gideon.
By the end of that
that's...
sentence, he's clunked out.
Okay. All right.
My God.
Dreaming of his next monster attack plan, I guess. All right, Cerriel, you're up. Do you guys have any light going on right now? Or is it just like, I guess, is your torch still burning, Cerriel, somewhere? Did you plant it in the ground? Or because I know
yeah.
Donovan's light went out. His magical light went out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll have my torch on.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, is there anything you wanted to do, or just kind of keep lookout?
Yeah, I'll just keep looking.
Okay. So you keep a lookout, and yeah, you're troubled by everything that's happened. All of your companions almost passed, almost were destroyed, and you're thinking back on your time with all of the other companions that you've met along the way, and you hear Darrow's voice, "Hello," echo in the back of your mind. You hear Reginald, "I see it," and Day, the one who was very enamored with your bow and stuff. I think she was very interested in your elfishness. And then last but not least, Morning Cloak comes to mind, and you see him at the top of a hill far away, or at least you imagine him. You're not sure if it's like a vision or just your imagination. He starts to look back, and right when he looks back, his face is not his any longer. It's of the champion your father sent to claim you. And you feel his cold stare. And suddenly you recognize the hillside around. And it's very familiar to some of the landmarks you saw on your way to this cave.
Mm-hmm.
So again, you're exhausted. You've been through a lot. You've missed a lot of your friends are no longer with you, and you are not sure if this is a vision or if it's just your rattled mind conjuring up your worst nightmares. Oh shit, Louis! I forgot about Louis. You have an image of Louis. He's playing his didgeridoo, riding a tortoise on a path, seeming very content.
Up some
That one's
smoke
a-
rising from it.
Yeah, some smoke rising. Yeah, exactly.
A pleasant thing. Okay, I'm
that's
gonna
it.
have I have a fang that's with me, and I'll be kind of like looking at it while I think about this stuff.
Okay. Yeah, the Fang of Morning Cloak. That I guess the
Yes,
story
I
of
don't
which
think
was never
everyone
disclosed.
knew that, but yeah.
Well, I think wasn't that
Did we
public
reveal that?
knowledge like
I don't know.
on the stream?
I can't remember.
All right, everybody who's listening, forget I said it if it's a lie. So, but anyway, that's your watch, and everybody wakes up.
So Bramble gets up out of his his little cinnamon roll that he had made of himself in the middle of the floor, and he stretches and he says, "Oh, I had the most wonderful dream. I had a basket full of strawberries, and I would eat one, and it would refill, and it was like a basket of endless strawberries. And then I wake up and I open my eyes and we're back here. It was a pretty big disappointment. But I feel good. I feel better. My beak still hurts a bit, but I really needed this."
So Donovan, you wake up and you feel strangely lighter.
Strangely lighter.
You feel like, it's like that feeling when you forget your wallet. You normally have your wallet in your pocket, and it's just that uneasiness sensation, and so you go to check, not your wallet, of course.
I'm checking my neck.
No, you don't check your neck. You check your person everywhere, trying to figure out what could be missing. And you realize the urn is missing.
Quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Did I recognize the voice at all? Like, had I ever heard it before?
No, you didn't. You've never heard it. It sounded inhuman. Sounded guttural. And you hear it again, Donovan. Louder this time, rattling in your skull.
You wish to take your wife to the highest point. I have taken her there myself. But there are not many tall peaks in caves underground. So you'll have to look carefully here where you are. Good luck.
You know what? Donovan recognizes the voice. It's Dr. Claw from Inspector Gadget.
It is.
Next time, Donovan.
This is awful.
So basically, you heard that this. Why don't you roll me a? Let's see. Why don't you roll me a beast lore?
Beast lore?
Yeah.
All right, let's roll this.
I'll even give you a boon on it because you've heard this numerous times.
Okay. Skills, beast lore, boom.
Okay, you succeed. So as this voice finishes talking in your mind, you pinpoint it, and it gives you a very clear sense that it is of demonic origin. And just to remind the viewers and Donovan, he had an uber fail. He had a magical mishap that involved a demon. Like 2 sessions ago, I think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit.
So basically he involved the demon somehow to, I don't know. We'll see. Up to the GM's discretion according to the rule book.
You know, I thought that would be much later, but...
No, it said it was in the next shift.
Mm.
Oh, boy.
Magic bites back.
Yes. So the rest of the group can just see Donovan frantically when he was searching for his urn. And then when that voice pops into his head, he just stops and just looks completely dazed and like gone until that's over with. And now he just looks completely... He does not look jolly. He looks defeated.
Okay.
He's not saying much either. Like when everyone is kind of like getting up, getting their things or snacking on something, he's just sitting there.
Okay.
I think Bramble may notice and just say, "Are you all right, Uncle? Is everything okay?"
No, everything's not okay. It's Linda. She's gone.
Oh, I know. It was so sad.
No, I mean the urn that your father made for me. It's gone.
Oh, well, where could it have gone to? Do you remember losing it or setting it down somewhere?
It's
But
it's
perhaps the
somewhere.
spider took it.
Perhaps.
Well, we will keep an eye out for it. We will find it. It can't have gone far.
Yeah,
No, there's some part of me though that thinks, and he kind of like said to himself, maybe we will never find it. It may be lost. Maybe lost forever.
Yeah, Donovan, he's not being too open about hearing that voice just quite yet, because he's not 100% sure in his own mind if what he's actually hearing is something he's hearing, or if it's like weird dreams from his past when he was in an adventuring guild. So he's gonna take it slow for right now.
Okay. Yeah, you can see Donovan very disheartened in the gloom of this chamber.
Did we gain the benefits of a shift rest?
Yes, you did.
Look at Matt being the proper player. Everybody cheated. We all clicked that as fast as we could.
Oh, yeah, he didn't click it yet. Everyone feels rejuvenated. Yeah.
Show.
Oh, cool. It auto does the
Everything.
injury. Like
Yeah.
it drops the 1 day
Oh,
off. That's great.
nice. Nice work, Patrick.
That is awesome.
That's so helpful because I'm the worst at keeping track of things like that. If you're not thinking about it, like, so character sheet automatically does it. All right, so you guys are sitting in here again, just ominous breezes, draft coming into the cave, singing somber tunes, blowing the cobwebs from the ceilings. What would you guys like to do?
Question for the GM,
Yeah.
out of character. I can't remember. Did the spider tell us where these orcs could be found, or it just said they're in here. It didn't give us a direction.
Yeah, it didn't. It didn't give you a specific. It says I think she just said like deeper in the cave or something like that.
Deeper in the cave.
So Cerriel and Gideon know roughly where they came from. They came from the south, kind of the southwest. That's where they trailed, and they have not encountered any orcs yet. Granted, there were a lot of branching caverns in different directions. They haven't gone down yet, so. But they did come south. You guys also did notice that in the chamber of the spider, there was also another branching. I don't know if you guys saw it, but there was a northern cavern kind of branching off to the northeast. But then also, again, south. And you two guys, Donovan and Bramble, you made it not very far before you were just overtaken by something, presumably a giant spider, and wrapped in cobwebs. So you really don't have any kind of... it's hard for you to orient yourself in this network of caves.
So, Bramble looking at Gideon and Cerriel, we will, leave it up to you. What do you think we should do? Where do you think we should go to find these orcs?
Well, I think we should probably go to the one area we haven't gone yet, where that crazy cultist ran out of. Seems to be the only area we haven't explored.
Oh, the guy where he ran out of the darkness from where...
yeah.
What's his face? Reginald and Day went?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you guys go back to that room, if you guys would like to move your characters back down to the southern chamber, you will see. And torchlight, who's doing what with lighting? And is there any particular marching order? Okay. So yeah, you guys make your way down to this chamber yet again, and it does branch off west, east, and south. The rushing water, the sound of rushing water is much more intense here. And you can even see a little glimmer in the torchlight further to the south of the black water that Cerriel and Gideon crossed a day ago.
Before we progress further, did we successfully make that whip?
We got to roll.
Right, yeah.
So remember, it's going to be a baned roll, Bramble. So you can, because you don't have the correct tools. You have some tools, but not the correct tools. So why don't you roll crafting and... Gideon, do you have any knowledge of crafting? I don't think you do you? Really? I mean, outside of just... Yeah, you're just like 5, so you're just like a...
He doesn't have knowledge of crafting, but I would say he's pretty proficient in like how whips work, so he might be able to like have a guiding hand or like hold the flashlight, you know?
Okay, hold the flashlight. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you can sort of... Okay, here's how we're going to do it. And this may be too rolly, but I like it. So... Raw roll, Bramble would get a bane. However, Gideon, I'll require a, let's see, maybe a performance roll to kind of guide him through with hand maneuvers. Oh, we lost somebody, or am I doubled? Oh, my hand moved. That's weird. Sorry, Zoom, guys. Yeah, that's not what was supposed to happen. I guess Zoom has a stupid, like, hey, if I thumb up, it'll make a little thing. Anyway, you can kind of pantomime, like, show him, like, what this might be like, what it might appear like, and guide him through it. But I'm going to need a roll from you, and if that roll succeeds, then Bramble just has a raw crafting roll. How's that sound? So really just... an additional roll. So rather than like it narratively helping him without a roll, I'm gonna require a roll.
For me.
For you, correct. So you need to roll a performance, unless you'd like to negotiate some other way.
Could I? Since we're making it out of natural things, would bushcraft count?
Yeah, sure.
Sweet.
I'll let you use bushcraft. Oh, you have a 14. Okay, I see how it is. Yeah. Okay, success. So that will remove Bramble's Bane on the crafting roll. So why don't you roll that, and then we'll just say, like, if it succeeds, then you have a whip made of cobwebs. Success. So the only thing I'm going to rule with this new whip made of cobwebs is that there will be a 1 in 6 chance every time you use it that the end will stick to whatever you hit.
And automatically grapple the creature? That's incredible.
Not automatically grapple the creature, but then it's going to require a strength check to remove it. So it could come in handy.
Totally a double-edged sword.
Yeah, exactly. It could come in handy.
It
could screw you over. Yeah, I mean, imagine you're fighting a dragon and you stick to it, and then it like yeets you across the wherever.
Dragonbane fast travel.
Exactly. Okay. So yeah, every attack, every use of that whip, you'll roll a d6, and if you get a 1 on it, it's stuck. Okay, so you have this fancy new whip, and I'll say it's stuck to your hand too. Why not? So you can't just be like, oh, I just drop it.
Awesome.
It's stuck on both ends. So yeah, you guys are in this central chamber. Like I said, the webbing, the cobwebs are a little thinner here. You hear water rushing to the south. You just hear sort of the moaning drafts that are persistent throughout this cave, coming from every other direction. But outside of that, there's prints in the mud. The ground is always ever damp and muddy. So it seems like there's traffic everywhere. You guys know that the cultist came from the west. Reginald and Day went to the west. You guys have been up and down this thing, so there's lots of traffic. It's difficult to even determine. I think I mentioned you guys saw like little tracks to the east and man-sized to the north, if I remember correctly. So yes, those smaller little tracks are to the east.
All right, which way do we go?
And we haven't been to see there. And we're looking for ogres or goblins?
Orcs.
Orcs.
Right in the middle of what you said.
Yeah. Probably not the little footprints, right?
Knowing that we're looking for orcs, is it possible to see if we can, see orc footprints in all of the footprints that are going through this central area?
So the only ones, like I say, the only distinguishable ones, which I guess you've kind of walked over the ones you follow to the north, or the smaller ones that you see to the east, since you guys already. Yeah, I think you guys already made a check in this room to determine, like, hey, can I see the different tracks? And so that's what you see. So the smaller tracks are right here. And then this is where you guys came from. So again, it's just like tracks upon tracks.
I think perhaps we go east.
What do you guys think?
Sure. Why not?
Gideon's just so infatuated with his new whip.
He's like, yeah, whatever. All right.
Okay.
Well, So Bramble has his hammer out and he's ready to proceed.
All right, let me know marching order. Are there any precautions you guys are doing? Who has a torch, etc., etc.?
I have a torch.
So you have the torch. Who is leading the way eastward into the cavern? And you guys can arrange your tokens however you'd like, and we can just do that. Just like this? Okay, so Cerriel's in the lead. Bramble's right behind her, armed with his warhammer. And then Donovan behind, and then finally in the very tail end is Gideon with his sticky whip. Is that what we're doing? Yep. Okay. All right. So you guys slowly make your way. Any precautions you guys are doing? Are you listening? Are you looking? Are you just blindly walking ahead, just carefully?
Oh
yeah,
I'm
the dead
definitely
guy.
looking and like keeping an eye out, trying to be as aware as possible.
Okay. How about anybody else? Are you guys sort of just on high alert?
Yeah.
So let's start with an awareness roll. Why doesn't everybody roll me an awareness roll first before we even get there, and that'll be your roll as we proceed forward. So we have Donovan with a 7 success. We have Cerriel with a 4 success. We have Bramble with a failure at a 19, and Gideon with a 2 success. So really the only the one who doesn't know what's going on is Bramble. Okay, so you guys make your way slowly east, and immediately this cavern also branches southeast. So there's one that's about 2 meters across straight ahead, and then one's a little narrower heading southeast. Which way would you guys like to go?
Can I check for footprints to see if
Yeah, you're
orc-looking
following.
footprints?
Yeah, you're following. You don't see any orc footprints. You see these little footprints, just continually going, and they kind of split off. They go both directions, as if there were two.
Mm.
Can I roll a bushcraft to see?
Well, what are you trying to do? And then we can see if you need to roll at all.
I guess if I already rolled an awareness, I'm probably as aware as I could be. I just
Yeah,
want to like look around for signs of like, I don't know, anything that differentiates these two paths.
No, the only thing you see is these footprints kind of split. So one goes south, east, one goes east, but they look roughly about the same size. And if you had to guess, they're probably a small humanoid of some kind. Could be a goblin, could be a halfling, could be a mallard with shoes, I guess. I don't know. They're smaller than human, unless it's like a child or something like that.
All right, I'm gonna continue north.
Okay, you guys keep going east. Oops, did I lose you? I'm moving you guys. I'll just move you guys. Oh no, where'd you go? There she is. Where did Gideon go? Oh, there he is. So yeah, you guys come to this crossroads right here, and you can see that the tunnel to the south is kind of backtracking a bit, but ahead is another chamber that opens up, and you see Cerriel. Actually, you know who sees it more than anybody is Bramble, even though he's very unaware. He failed his role entirely.
Mm-hmm.
He has a hunger for metal. And he sees it glinting among the mud and dust in the other room. So you recognize it from afar as weapons, perhaps, even though they're all kind of concealed. And then Cerriel, this comes to you quickly after.
Does it look like the weapons are hanging on the wall, or does it look like somebody's maybe holding
so
them?
they're like all along the wall, like covered.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah, almost like they're like wedged sort of there's no weapon racks or anything like that. It's almost as if like these walls have these little nooks almost specifically to fit all of these things. Now, granted, it's not like cut out like a perfect thing, but there's no weapon rack there. They're just on the wall as if there is a weapon rack.
You see this? Very shiny. Look, I can see that. Look, that looks like a great axe. And he's kind of like, his eyes are like wide as he slowly is like walking after Cerriel.
Okay. Yeah, so as you get closer, Bramble and Cerriel, you notice that there are swords, helms, chainmail, all along the walls. They start sort of revealing themselves to you as you get closer, and the torchlight kind of glimmers on the metal itself. They seem very old, though. They're all covered with, again, cobwebs and dust. Haven't been used in some time.
Perhaps these are left over from a bygone age.
They are very old, and they look as if they have not been touched in a long time. They're covered in cobwebs, not necessarily spider webs. Just the dust and the webs of sitting here for a long time.
Well, let's take a closer look at them. Are any of them usable?
Okay, so Cerriel, are you making your way into the chamber?
Yeah.
Okay, so you make your way into the chamber and you sidestep. You notice immediately there's yellowed bones all over the floor. In Bramble, you're so excited and very unaware that you crunch and you look down at your feet and you see the same thing Cerriel saw. So you see bones just submerged in the mud.
Ooh.
Very ancient, yellowed, no flesh whatsoever on them. And then you hear in the distance, very kind of quietly, you hear that? What is it?
I will look back at Donovan and I'll say, yeah, that. Somebody just said something.
Yes, I definitely heard that.
Did it come from ahead of us?
Yeah, it seemed like it echoed sort of across to the east, from the east.
We should be on our guard. There might be somebody who set a trap.
I'm gonna get my bow out.
Okay.
But I probably can't hold the torch and my bow at the same time, huh?
You can't knock an arrow, but you can have a bow in your hand and a torch in your hand, but you're not going to be able to knock an arrow with both of those things.
Can she shoot the torch?
Does anybody else have one-handed weapon?
My Warhammer is a light Warhammer. I believe that it's a one-handed weapon.
Alright, I'm gonna hand him the torch if he'll take it.
Bramble will hold out and we'll take the torch.
Okay, so what I'll do is turn that off for her, and then turn... Oh, you already had a torch on, I guess.
Oh.
There you go. So, yeah, so you're holding Cerriel's torch.
Mm-hmm.
You do see, now that you're all in this chamber, and, you know, after you stepped on the bones under your feet, you look back, your attention is drawn back to the weapons, and you see that most of them are broken. There are a few that could be usable if you want to, you know, go around and poke around and investigate more. But from this distance, it appears that most of them are not in great shape.
So Bramble will take care not to step on any more bones,
Okay.
knowing that they're there now.
Yeah.
But he will kind of move to the side, kind of lighting ahead. He's less he's definitely interested in checking out these weapons, but the voice and the laughter caught his attention more, and so he's like setting priorities, like deal with that, then come back to this.
Yeah.
maybe.
Okay. Yeah, you just heard the like little squeaky voice and a little bit of laughter. It sounded distant. It sounded more like it was echoing farther away, not like it's in the very next, not like it's around the corner. It seemed distant. But yeah, as you're kind of poking around these old weapons, you do find some that are usable. The ones you do find are a broadsword, a flail, chainmail, and a helmet. So those are the items that you find that are serviceable that you could don, or somebody could don or use.
Well, Bramble is interested. I'm not sure exactly how upgrading armor or that kind of thing works. Is there certain
It's
things
just
that
it's just an
Mallet
item.
can't wear?
It's just an item. So yeah, I mean, you could wear the chainmail if you'd like. Drop your leather or keep it and then don the chainmail.
Okay, then he might look to do that if looking at it if he could, unless somebody else would want it, he would definitely be interested in doing that.
Okay.
And it being older, that might be something that's attractive to him, just in the metalwork and the craftsmanship.
Indeed it is. It has a very special look, a very different look, something that you haven't quite ever seen before. So why don't you roll me a myths and legends? You notice this too, Gideon, as you enter through the travels and your studies of monsters. Some of the craftsmanship of these things kind of rings a bell as ancient, but you can't quite place exactly where you've seen them before.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh.
A 2. Wow.
I was worried.
You
I
only
only have
have
a 6 in that.
Yeah, you hardly. Oh man, I thought that was going to be a fail.
No, a 5.
Okay.
I only have a 5 in it.
Okay, a 5. Yeah. So damn. All right. So yeah, you recognize these somewhere. You remember an old tale. Your great grandfather, whoever, somebody told you this, and you get this image in your mind of the Draconic Empire of Eladane, which you remember as well. I think you guys heard this in Outskirt.
Mm-hmm.
So when what's her name? I can't remember her name, but the woman who worked at the inn at the Three Stags told you this story of Eladane and how he used to rule a draconic empire here at the Misty Vale, and he is the one who actually locked away Azrael Koth with by forging the sword. And so he is actually the pieces of these statuettes that you are looking for, which I don't think Cerriel and Gideon has said anything about that yet.
I don't think so.
So yeah, this is very ancient, very high craftsmanship. Yeah, you haven't seen anything like this before. And I can just drag if you want. Are you just taking the chainmail?
I would, yeah.
Okay. So let me grab chainmail from the items list here, and I'll just chainmail. Let's see, what's this stuff?
Donovan,
Okay.
look at this. This is very fine craftsmanship. The metalwork is exquisite. Look at it. I'm so excited. And it fits.
Yes, that's quite amazing. Donovan is gonna wanna whenever, or let me know when you're done.
Oh, well, I was gonna say it's in your Bramble. It's in your inventory now.
Okay.
So if you'd like to, you can always. I think you can just equip it. Yeah, there you go. So you can just drag it over and equip it if you'd like.
All right.
So yeah, it's a little big. It doesn't feel like it was made for a little guy like you, so it drapes a little bit, but you kind of cinch it up, or you manage to, I guess rather than it just being like a regular shirt, it's a little bit longer.
I can tell that it's gonna have an impact on how quiet I can be. As I move around, I can feel it kind of shaking, and I'm like, I'm not going to be as stealthy as I was, but it would be worth it for how much more of a hit I can take.
Oh yeah, I
And,
see. Bane on sneaking. Yeah.
And it would be really bad for me to get knocked unconscious again. So as much help as I can get, I don't want to start sustaining injuries, really bad ones, more than my beak.
So there is also a helm. There's also a broadsword, and a flail. So if
nobody else goes to take anything, he's going to start piling this stuff on.
Okay. Okay. So are you going to take the helm? So I guess let's see encumbrance-wise where you are.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I might drop stuff in order to be able to.
Yeah. Let's see what you got here. So, I will just drag over the helm if that's what you're going to grab.
Unless anybody else grabs it. Bramble is...
I don't think anybody else is gonna.
He's like
gonna wear it, right?
Yeah, no. As a mage, I can't really use hardly anything.
Okay, so you should have an open helmet now in your inventory, Bramble.
It doesn't affect my encumbrance either.
Oh, nice. But you have a Bane on awareness as well because, you know, you're more enclosed now. So not only do you have a Bane on sneaking because of the chainmail, you have a Bane on. But granted, remember, you can always, like, throw a helmet off. I think Morning Cloak did that at one point because that's just like an action like drawing a weapon or something if you need to do something like that in combat or whatever. Okay, what about the weapons? Are you just taking everything or leaving some stuff or swapping stuff out or...
Does anybody else use like metal weapons? He looks over at Gideon, who's, I guess, like he has his whip. Is this something that you could use?
Anybody can use anything, but their skills are less. So with Gideon, his hammers is only 5. Yeah. So anybody can really use anything in this game. It's just like he's not very good at it. He's better at, looks like, staves and whips.
You could take it in case something happens and you lose your second whip. Another spider may come along and steal it, just like the first one did. I definitely did not lose that whip of yours. It was the spider who took it.
Well, I mean, you did help me make this one. And now, granted, it is stuck to me, so if they do take it, they take me too.
Well, didn't you just jam this sword right into its belly?
Well, I would love to do that because all monsters need to die.
Oh yes.
With the staff that I have as well and this torch, I don't know if I could hold it, but I do appreciate it.
So as you're digging around these weapons with zeal, Bramble, something pricks your finger, or almost pricks your finger.
Okay.
It's a dagger, and it strangely enough, its blade seems to be coated with something. So I need you to roll me an evade roll.
Yeah, it feels like I've lost all sense of caution.
Yeah.
Evade?
Evade. So roll me an evade roll. Okay. And we'll see what happens as this ancient dagger's blade points out at you. Okay, that's a fail, so you can choose to push that if you'd like. Otherwise, you can take the prick of the blade.
I think I will go ahead and take the whatever happens. I just got all these conditions taken off. I don't want to start adding them again yet.
Okay, so I need you to roll against Poison Potency 12.
Okay. Let's see. What would I roll for that?
It's a con, I believe. Okay. I feel like you guys have been poisoned enough. I should remember this by now.
Yeah, it's a straight con.
It's a straight con. Okay.
Okay, great.
And if you succeed, I believe you take... Oh, no.
I did not.
Failed. So I have to roll a d3 to see what the type of poison is. Okay, so the type of poison is a 3, which is sleeping poison, I guess. So full effect. So as you prick your finger, Bramble. Oh, I also roll. That's right. A d20. See, I need you here, Nub, to remind me of the rules. Okay, so I rolled a 2. So I'm guessing that means it goes into full effect. Let me see here. Full effect. Sleepy time. Okay, so, yeah, you prick your finger on this blade, and you become dazed. And you have to roll a con every single turn. It's not an action, though. And if it fails, you fall asleep and remain sleeping for 1 shift.
Do I mark off dazed as a condition?
Yes.
Okay.
So you just tick the little condition box that you're dazed.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess we'll do a con roll immediately, since you're
okay.
You're sleepy poisoned, and we'll see if you fall asleep. Okay, success. You are awake.
Woo.
And it says, let's see here, also, being given an antidote or taking at least 1 point of damage wakes you up.
And how long does this last? Do I know, or is it?
I guess that's it. Remind me, Nub. It doesn't say if it wears off or not. If it fails, you fall asleep and remain sleeping for 1 shift. So I'm guessing it's like a one and done thing. Unless it's every single turn. Anyway, we'll see what he says in the chat. But anyway, as you guys are standing here, you see Bramble. He gets pricked by a blade.
Oh.
Yawning, perhaps. And yeah, what about the rest of you guys? What are you guys doing?
Donovan is curious for just that type of thing. He wanted to maybe, and also that voice. Is it possible for him to do a spot hidden check?
What are you trying to achieve?
I'm trying to see where maybe that voice, if the voice is hidden, like if it's on the other side of the room, can I see where it's coming from?
I'll say you succeeded in an awareness roll, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll say it seems to be coming from this corridor.
Oh,
like it echoed from the distance. Yeah, it didn't seem like it was inside this room or hiding in this room, but it definitely came from that direction. Oh man, Nub says technically every turn since it's full effect. That's kind of okay. So I'll just have to, I guess after everybody does something or doesn't something, Bramble's gonna have to roll again. So Cerriel, Gideon, are you guys doing anything while Donovan's searching and Bramble's pricking his finger on this blade?
I just have my bow out and an arrow knocked.
Okay, so you have an arrow knocked.
Just kind of like looking around.
Yeah, or I can have you take 1 point of damage and move on, I guess.
If I do suffer the result of the poison and fall asleep, and then I wake up, that's it? Is that correct?
Yeah, I think so. I wish it was a little more clear in the rule book about how this works, but it's not. Yeah, because it says
can I volunteer to just fail the con roll then and just fall asleep and then
take a point of damage?
Oh, and take a point of damage to wake up? Is that how it would work?
Yeah. So he says yes, but you're asleep for 6 hours, so 1 shift. Yeah, I mean, if you want to do that, just take 1 damage and then we can just hand wave it away because I don't know, it doesn't seem that cool.
Yeah, So I guess this could look like I prick my finger and I'm like, oh, and just kind of like collapse on the ground and hit my head and then immediately like wake up. And
Okay.
it's just like it's just calamity going down where I'm at. Yeah, and so now I have a little bit of a bump on my head, but I'll say that was strange. Don't touch the daggers, I guess. And I took a point of damage.
Okay. All right. So there is a corridor heading east and one heading south and one backtracking southwest. And there's the room around you littered with old bones as well as mostly damaged weapons lining the walls. What would you guys like to do next?
At this fork that I'm at for Gideon,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna check for footprints. See if
Coming this way?
yeah.
Yeah, it appears that they're heading toward you and entering this room. So it's almost as if the footprints you followed in the top corridor and the ones that split away kind of almost backtracked and came back up this way and headed east.
So yeah, Gideon's gonna point that out.
I think we're heading in the right direction.
Donovan's definitely interested in the fact that he hears that giggling sound coming from this east corridor, and he urges the others, we should keep traveling east. It was a strange sound. I know you all heard it. Perhaps there's a second child running around here.
I agree. I think we should continue going in the direction of the voices.
Okay, as you guys approach this eastern corridor, this one's much narrower than the ones you've been walking through, which means it's going to require a successful roll to kind of shimmy your way through this thing, if you like. And then also, if you leave your items, not counting any weapons that you're holding, you'll get a boon on the roll. So basically, if you're unencumbering yourself, you can try to make yourself less bulky. You can still have your weapons, but taking off armor, things like that, if you leave it behind, you'll get a boon. Otherwise, it's going to be a straight acrobatics check.
Since I don't wear armor, and like I'm kind of smaller, I would imagine.
Yeah, you know what I'll say? I'll give you, since you're so tiny, I'll give you a boon. You're a little frogkin. So how are we doing this? Who's got the torch? Who's going in first?
I have the torch. Bramble has it. If somebody wants to take it and go first, that's fine. Bramble also doesn't mind trying to get through first. I think that he'd immediately be resistant to taking off the armor that he just put on. So he would probably just give it a try and try to work his way through. Unless, like Gideon, if you want to take the torch and go through first.
Well, there could be monsters there.
This is true.
And he loves monsters.
Here you are. Here you go. And we'll hold it out. We'll be right behind you.
I feel like I've heard that one before.
I was with you before. Remember this. I will be with you on this for this as well.
All right, Gideon. So, acrobatics
acrobatics
roll, and you'll get a boon to the roll as you kind of make your way with the torch held outward. Oh, look at that! Wow, a dragon. So I would give you an alternate effect or a bonus effect to that. If you have any suggestions, let me know. You could either make it to the other side quietly, or I'll say you could probably allow the next person behind you. You could guide them in such a way that negates their roll. They don't need to roll whatsoever. Or if you have an idea how you'd like to take advantage of that dragon roll, let me know.
So I'm assuming like this is kind of like rock wall. It's jutting out on either side.
Yeah.
Like as we're going through.
Mm-hmm.
So Gideon, being the nimble frog that he is, he's gonna kind of find the path that like you can kind of like wiggle through the easiest, and kind of using the whip actually, dragging it along to show the others.
So what is the effect you'd like?
Maybe it gives them a bonus on their roll, or makes it
okay
easier.
So rather than having the person directly behind you get a no roll, you want to give everybody a boon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like maybe if I drag my like whip through the mud
Yeah.
to create like a path.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I'll just say you somehow intelligently use your whip to help guide them. So yeah, why don't everybody roll me an acrobatics check with a boon?
If you were removing your armor or dropping your pack and we're already getting a boon, do those stack?
Yeah, boon stack.
Okay.
But Bane's.
I'm not going to, but
yeah, everything stacks. That's what's cool about this game. It's like you could be in a situation where you have like 3 boons or 3 banes or more.
Like Bramble's broken bill and the helmet is 2 awareness Banes.
Yep, exactly.
Ooh.
So it looks like everybody is
needed
making
that.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys feel free to move your tokens all the way up to about here. I guess I can just speed you along the way really quick here. And there we go. All right, so you come to a crossroads. To the east are these crudely carved steps leading up. These are not like anything you've seen so far. Everything you've seen so far is very crude and not almost like it's not crafted. These steps are definitely crafted by hand from the stone, not just like a brute force carving through or a natural cavern passage. These are man-made or beast-made. And then to the west, northwest, you see a glimmer of cobweb, and there is a very cold draft of air coming from that direction. And you also hear those voices again. Get it? It's worth a lot. Get it. Hurry. Yeah, get it. Higher. Get down. Shh.
From the spiderweb direction?
Yeah, you just hear like a collection of these voices, these high-pitched. And I'll say, why don't you roll me a, Gideon, why don't you roll me a beast lore with a boon? As you're closer to these voices. Okay, success. So they're speaking crudely common, and you are almost 100% sure these are goblins. And it sounds like there's 2 of them.
Guys, I know we're looking for orcs, but I think we have some more company. 2 goblins,
What?
at least.
Is that the voices that we are hearing?
I believe so.
We don't know if the orcs are this way, but we don't want goblins coming up and stabbing us in the back.
Absolutely not.
Maybe the goblins know where the orcs are.
That's a good idea. Good thought. All right, should we go and ask them? In our way? He gives like a little devilish smile.
Are goblins monsters?
Oh yeah.
Goblins
yeah.
are nightkin, good Gideon, and yes, they are most certainly considered monsters.
Yeah, Cerriel, you are, as Nub was reminding me in the chat, you're reminded of many, many days ago, you were in another cave, a tomb perhaps, and these voices sound, eerily similar to the poor little goblin that I believe Morning Cloak killed, if I remember correctly, who begged for his life. Do you feel like a little twinge in your heart? Or not? Okay, so what do you guys would like to do, or what would you guys like to do? East.
Gideon's gonna check for more footprints, especially if the stairs are made of stone, to see if there's possibly like mud tracks.
Yeah, so you look carefully at the stairs, and you do see bigger footprints in the dust on the stairs. And little ones going to the west.
Well, I agree with Bramble here. The young lad has a point. Even if we are hunting orcs, we do not want to be ambushed by these goblins, Gideon. Good ear, good catch on them. We should meet them and challenge them.
I've heard stories of goblins being good at laying traps. Maybe we could lay a trap for the orcs on these stairs.
Oh, do you know any traps to set?
No, but maybe the goblins do.
Do you know any traps to set, Cerriel? Some way we could probably hear something coming down the stairs, or I don't know.
I'm afraid not.
Let me see what's in my bag.
Never actually seen a goblin before. This is actually quite exciting for me.
Treacherous little creatures.
Are they?
Yeah, quite so.
Careful. You almost got it. Shh.
You hear more speaking. Garbled speaking from the west.
Gideon's going to put out the torch.
Okay. So you
I
guys
imagine
are
that's
in darkness.
pretty
Or
visible.
actually, does Bramble, did you give him the torch?
He did. Yes. Bramble
Okay,
gave,
so you guys are
Gideon the
in
torch.
pitch black right now. Everything goes out.
Well,
I am very. I mean, this is very scary. I'm not gonna lie. This might have put us at a disadvantage immediately.
But actually, now that the light is out, you do see a faint light. Which, let me make it more atmospheric here. See a faint light. There you go. You guys see that? Yeah, you see, now that your bright torch lighted off, you see a faint fiery light to the west, to the northwest. And you see shadows are being cast, long shadows down the corridor as bodies or something is moving.
Can I determine possibly who and or what might be making those shadows by the shape of the shadow?
Well, you do know that you recognize the sound of 2 goblin voices in this direction. So you think that's probably what it is.
Okay.
But yeah, you see like these kind of arms and legs. It looks like clambering, climbing something, shimming. You see an arm shoot out and go back, and you hear a grunt and a little giggle.
Donovan's gonna whisper, "I say we wait and let them come to us and get the jump on them."
Do you think they're going to come to us?
Goblins are patient little pests. Of course they'll come to us.
So you guys are just gonna wait it out, or what?
What if Cerriel, with her bow, goes up and sees what she can see, and maybe I don't know.
You guys are free to sneak ahead. I mean, you guys can sneak around the corner and stuff. It's still very dark in here,
We're
with the
in
exception
dark,
of that
so they
area,
might not see us.
that radius of fiery light.
Okay, I'll sneak over there and keep my head around the corner.
Okay, so why don't you roll me a sneaking. Sneaky sneak. Where's your Okay, success. So you make your way around the corner quietly, keeping to the shadows. And you see these 2 appears to be goblins. Like you've seen goblins before, but they're all in shadow, but you can see some of this this firelight that is catching on their features and parts of their bodies. And there's stalactites hanging from the ceiling. And you see almost like a network of rope tied to them, as if they've attached it to the wall somewhere and are making their way across the ceiling to this object that's floating there, suspended in the air, above what looks like to be a rope bridge. However, this rope bridge, and you can tell very clearly because you've seen a lot of spider webs, is completely made of these thick rope-like cobwebs that appear to be made from that giant spider, like in the lair you saw. And hovering above this thing, where these goblins are trying to reach, they're just barely there. Again, they're little, and so it's hard for them to reach. They're trying to look in their packs for tools that might afford them another few inches. It appears to be an urn floating there, hovering there, but like bathed in fire. It's like surrounded by fire.
Okay. I'm gonna sneak back.
Okay, you sneak back, and Donovan, this voice hits you like just a push right in the sternum.
Wizard, your wife misses you.
And that's where we're going to stop tonight, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us. And we will see you guys next week with more Dragonbane. Thank you, Patrick, for the fantastic Foundry system. Thank you, Andreas, for the music, as well as Noel. Thank you guys for playing. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget, like the stream, comment below. Let us know what you're thinking so far. And yeah, that's it for us. So keep a lookout for next Wednesday. Same time, same channel. And see you guys next time.